Hi guys, welcome to Real Football Talk. I'm your host Hassan. I have Adil with me. We'll be discussing the second leg ties of Liverpool versus Real Madrid and Manchester City versus Borussia Dortmund. Adil, let's straight away get into the Liverpool versus Madrid game. What did you make of it? And I mean, Liverpool kind of crashing out of the Champions League after such a dominating second leg performance.
Yeah, I mean, really fast start from Liverpool. I thought quite an it's a really enjoyable match to watch because you know there's a lot of quality on both sides. Um, the way Real Madrid, after the initial first 10 minutes, where I thought Liverpool just started really well, um, created quite a few good chances in that time. I mean, Salah, I think he'll be regretting that miss. I mean, ended up being probably the best chance of the game, their
He,
first
he has
chance.
to score that, no? He has to score that. A player of his
Yeah, I mean,
ability. We
yeah,
say he's world class. I mean, all the Liverpool fans say he's world class. He has to score that.
yeah. I mean, he is world class, but he hit it straight at the keeper, and that's the occasion, isn't it? I mean, I felt the even in this leg, um, the finishing of Liverpool's was really bad, even though the performance was excellent. They were blasting every shot. Um, they were rushing every shot. And yeah, that normal composure wasn't there, and you could just see, um, there was a lack of confidence in the players whoever the chances fell to, they were lashing at it, which you don't normally see, especially with Salah. He's very much a guy who goes with placement and takes that extra touch if he needs to. He's very good at maneuvering and buying himself that extra time. But today it felt like even every half chance he was snatching at it. So I think yeah, it cost them ultimately is because they created a lot of good chances. And I know Real Madrid had some good chances on the break too, but a lot of them were fast breaks. It's really hard to maneuver the ball, pick your spot, finish it. You're under so much pressure, but yeah, fascinating game though.
I mean, he had Salah had another chance where I think maybe he took too long in terms of took 3-4 touches, and by
Yeah.
then all the space is gone. I mean, do Liverpool fans do they still look at it as in it was because of their defense they lost this tie, or was it more because they attack didn't fire?
Well, they lost a tie because of their non-performance in the first leg. I mean, many Liverpool supporters have said that's one of the worst performances in Europe they've had for a long while. So you just can't perform like that against a quality opponent, especially in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. But I think they'll take heart from today's performance. I mean, it was a real good performance, and the match was just exciting the whole way because of the way the game always felt, even though there was a two-goal push for Real Madrid. The Anfield factor, it was always there in the back of the mind that if they just get one, you know, the whole, you know, tie
I
could
mean,
turn.
do you think maybe some of the Madrid players were unnerved by the scenes before the game of what happened, their bus being kind of attacked by some of the Liverpool fans?
Now, I thought Real Madrid were composed throughout the whole game. They never, not for me, and even when
Or
Liverpool
would you say
created
would you say that
chances,
motivate them even more?
I don't know. I just think they were focused on their job. They did their job. They sat back. They played on the counter. Um, played basically, 4-5-1. Um, and yeah, I mean, they didn't make it easy for Liverpool. They didn't give up easy chances. Everything, had someone pressuring on the case. They had plenty of people behind the ball. And that was part of the reason why Liverpool players were snatching at their shots because they were always under pressure. There was nothing, a freebie or free chance. So yeah, I thought Real Madrid got their tactics right. They played on the counter. They let Liverpool play with all the risk, and if they put away some of their chances, I mean, they hit the post and, probably had the clear of the chances after the original Salah chance, then the tie would have been finished. I was impressed with, and even after the initial in both halves, Liverpool started fast, and then the next 10-15 minutes, I was impressed with the way Real Madrid remained composed and managed to keep possession, and they're beating the press. I mean, Liverpool tried to press them, and they're comfortably beating the press, but eventually, they'll go long, trying to play in that ball in behind Trent and Nat Phillips, and obviously wasn't on. So yeah, I mean, just a good game, really. Both teams had a go. Both teams did what they had to do. Liverpool just never had their shooting boots on.
I mean, ultimately, it seems like the first leg was kind of the gravestone for Liverpool going out, really, and the mistakes they've made from there.
But it would have been promising for them just to show that, the performance from the first leg, the gulf isn't as big as the first leg showed.
But I mean, in terms of the semi-final, we have an exciting prospect. Another English team in there, Chelsea versus Madrid. What's your take on that? What do you make of the tie?
I think it's a real tough tie for both teams, because the way Chelsea defend, Real Madrid won't find it as easy to score the way they did, and similar tactics really, in the sense that two defensive mids shielding, the back line. And both defensive mids are experienced. Both defensive mids are very good at reading the second balls, controlling the game, picking up position. So I think it's going to be a real tactical battle. I can't see any team getting away with it. And it's going to come down to the team that puts away the chances. And because of that, I put Real Madrid as slight favourites. I wouldn't say them as heavy favourites, because I think it's such a tight game.
I mean, I was also going to say, do you think maybe because of Real Madrid's experience in those latter stages and what they've done recently, does that make them the favourite for the tie?
I put them favourites more because of they've got players who can put their chances away. If both teams have 5 chances each over the 2 legs, you would back Real Madrid to put more of those 5 chances than Chelsea, just because of they got quality finishers on the right end of the pitch. But Chelsea are going to play with the back 3, so that's definitely gonna give them extra protection. So yeah, I think that slightly evens it up, that Chelsea's approach is more defensive or defensively secure. I think it's just going to be one of those real tactical games. Whenever one of the teams on top, it's going to come down to who takes their chances, who's going to be able to control the tie by getting the first goal.
It seems like a brilliant tie ahead for us to look forward to, really. Let's switch our attention to the other side, really. Manchester City versus Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund take the lead. I mean, Bellingham, 17 years old. Great finish. What composure. What do you make of him?
Yeah, I mean, he's really grown in stature. I mean, we mentioned it in one of the recent England games that he actually started the season off really poor, and he was playing quite bad. And a lot of, towards the end of November, December, he was getting a lot of stick for his performances. And so it took him a bit of time to get used to the pace and the level up, going up from Championship to the Bundesliga. But since the winter break, he's been one of Dortmund's best players, and he's really been showing his quality and playing with confidence. And I mean, for a big guy, the engine he has, it's amazing. I mean, he presses the whole game, goes up and down, and he's becoming more composed on the ball.
I mean, he cleared one off the line as well.
Yeah,
just to look at his full.
I mean, he seemed more pumped up today. He seemed pumped up to play against an English team and show his quality, and maybe that was an extra motivation, because he definitely was, putting his fair share of the tackles in, blocks, pressing. He was doing everything, everything you want from a box-to-box midfielder. And then when the opportunity came, he emphatically finished it, like an experienced pro. It was an excellent finish, great finish.
I mean, he got his first goal in the Bundesliga this weekend, and now in the Champions League. So great for him. In terms of City, what did you make of them and the comeback they made, and especially the penalty decision?
Well, the first half, I thought first 20 minutes, Pep does what he does in the big games, makes wrong decisions. So what he changed from the first leg was, well, we said it that I thought he might have gone with an out striker, because soon as in the first leg Gabriel Jesus came on, it caused Dortmund a lot of problems, and they were comfortable with playing the false nines. But Pep stuck with the same system, but he changed. He swapped the positions of De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. So De Bruyne was playing the false nine, and he wasn't doing a good job. He just completely lost De Bruyne's threat. And the moment they went down, after about 20 minutes, they switched it. They went to kind of a 4-4-2, where they kind of pushed Bernardo Silva as the striker, but De Bruyne had a free role alongside him. And as soon as that happened, it just transformed City's threat, because I think Dortmund were content with City playing their system and passing and moving. And as long as they played like that, they're fine. The moment, De Bruyne was able to be free and he wasn't really playing within a system, and suddenly you get the individual creativity, well, the Dortmund defenders aren't good enough one-on-one for that type of intelligence and individualism. So they were fine as long as City stayed within their structure. Soon as De Bruyne was free, he was spraying the ball everywhere, moving positions. Suddenly, Dortmund was struggling to pick him up, and they were so focused on De Bruyne, it was creating space for Mahrez and for Foden to run in behind. So yeah, soon as that adjustment happened midway through the first half, that's when City really became a threat. Other than that, it's very much like the Real Madrid Liverpool game. Dortmund were happy to play 4-5-1 and then push players forward.
Was it a penalty though? The Emre Can kind of head on to his.
This is the thing: is every single week, you hear the referees or the whoever talking about by the letter of the law, and then all of a sudden, for the Champions League, they're making excuses about it's not clear enough to overturn. Well, by the letter of the law, it shouldn't have been a penalty. If it comes off the head and then touches the arm, it's not considered a penalty. So I just think it's too hypocritical now.
But do you think because he moved his hand slightly towards the ball and stuff, that's what?
I don't think he did.
Hindered the decision.
I don't think he did. His arm was slightly out. Now, if the ball's coming towards that arm, you're not going to tuck it in. You're just going to move your head, because already your arm, that part of your body, is in line with the ball. So I don't see what the big deal is about the position of his arm, and it makes no difference. I mean, we're talking about letter of the law. So letter of the law, if it touches the head and then hits the arm, it makes no difference where his arm was. It's a deflection, and it looked a bit unnatural, but I just think you can't always back the referee up by going to the letter of the law, and then when they don't follow it, you're going to make excuses. It's getting too they're endangered species. They're getting protected to the point where it's openly hypocritical the way they're applying the rules. If they're going to stick to letter of the law and hide behind it in most weeks, then stick to it. I think City have had two major decisions in this tie.
But this is what I was going to ask you. Do you think City? Dortmund got hard done in this both legs, really, considering the goal they lost in the last game and the
Yeah,
goals they conceded in this
because
game.
both have happened at crucial times. Both have happened. I mean, the first time was straight after City took the lead, so that would have given them the initiative again, and City would have had to chase the game again. So that was actually. And this one was when yes, City were started fast the second half, but they were able to create chances, like clear cut chances at that moment. And after the penalty, yeah, that's when De Bruyne became more of a factor because he was doubling up on the left hand side, and suddenly he was running at players and causing havoc. And again, further proves our point that really against a team that ain't good at defending, haven't got good individual defenders. You need that individual quality to expose them. If you stick to your system, they're comfortable just getting men behind the ball and defending as a team. As soon as you force them to defend as individuals, they struggle. And De Bruyne showed that in the second half. He on numerous occasions he drove past 2-3 players, create havoc. I mean, it was his great run that led to the corner for Foden's goal. So, but yeah, come back to the point. Dortmund were definitely hard done by. I think you can't change midway through a tournament how you're going to apply the rules. If the whole tournament you've been following letter of the law, then you can't suddenly change it just because someone's arm is in an unnatural position. It don't matter. If it's come off the head, it's come off the head. You have to stick to the rule book.
I mean, let's go back to the point you mentioned slightly in there about Foden. I mean, the stock put Iniesta, really. What did you make of his finish? And it seemed like he meant a lot for him. I mean, taking his club to the semi-final, again, being influential in both ties, scoring goals in both of them, really.
Yeah, I mean, for the goal, obviously Hitz made a big error. He should have comfortably saved that, but it shows the progression of Foden and what a key player he's becoming to the City team, because that was a big call, dropping Sterling for both legs for Foden, and I wasn't entirely sure that Foden would start, but look at the confidence that Pep has in him, and he's vindicated it with the two crucial goals. Ultimately, his 2 goals are the goals that's got City through. So for all the good chances City created, they didn't get a lot on target. So Foden's just showing that he's got that extra bit of clinical class that's needed.
I mean, seems like the power maybe was too much for the keeper to handle. I mean, let's switch our attention into the semi-final between Manchester City versus Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, wow, what a fascinating tie. Foden's already called out Mbappe, saying if he's ready. What do you make of the tie?
Yeah, I don't know if was that Foden who done that, or
yeah, Foden, yeah.
Okay.
Foden said, "Are you ready?"
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you can rest assured that Mbappe will be ready, unless he gets injured. He's similar in the sense he's showing he's ready to take on the mantle of, and I think PSG seem to have an extra bite about them because they lost the final last year. So I think it's going to be a really good game. Both managers know each other. Both managers know each other's style. Obviously, there's links with the owners. I think it related in some way. So, and yeah, it's a tie that probably it's a mouth-watering tie.
I mean, could the difference be simply the fact of, I mean, the speed of Mbappe and Neymar, really? Because it seems like Stones or even the Man City defense, they struggle with that pace and the ball over the top.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that would be PSG's best opening is those counter attacks to plan. I mean, City ain't gonna change. City are gonna look to dominate the game, and the way Bayern were able to dominate the first leg, and even dominate possession in the second leg without actually being much of a threat. But the way PSG were happy to let Bayern have the initiative of the possession just means City will probably have a lot of possession and PSG will be comfortable with that. And it's going to come down to whether PSG can, poach the ball enough times to set their counter-attacks off, or whether City can, use their domination to create clear-cut chances.
Do you think that's a game where maybe City would need the likes of Aguero or maybe Jesus to make the difference for them?
No, I'm pretty sure, looking at what Pep has done in the Champions League, I think he wants that extra bit of control in the middle of the pitch. So definitely, I think he's going to play with the false nine in the Champions League. And yeah, it's gonna be basically down to whether PSG can get enough ball to cause City problems, because City are gonna play their normal dominating football. They're not gonna back off.
Can the likes of Stones handle Mbappe, handle Neymar, Zinchenko? Left back. He's not the greatest of defender.
Dortmund played a similar style today. They played on the counter, and they caused Stones enough problems in the two legs. So, and now we're talking about a team that has better players, individual players, and then they're better at the counter attack. I mean, the way Neymar and Mbappe linked up yesterday was devastating. They were unplayable, and Bayern could not get to grips with them. So I don't think there's any team that could contain those two, unless they go and play defensive and give the initiative to PSG and play on the counter. But we know City don't really do that. So maybe if it was playing Chelsea, it might be different, or Real Madrid, who tactically are quite flexible. They're not desperate to control the game. They're quite happy to sit off and play. So, but they've got the tie against the team that everyone pretty much knows are going to look to dominate the game, dominate possession, play a high line.
I mean, we have two fantastic ties to look forward to in the semi-final.
Yeah, good matchup, similar. I mean, the last thing you want to see is in both ties, one team defending, playing on the counter totally, and then the other team is just dominating possession. Like the both teams, like kind of all right. I think Real Madrid and Chelsea are quite similar and flexible in their tactical, but that's going to be a chess match. But I think City PSG is going to come down to the stars. So come down to which star grabs the game by the scruff of the neck and shows their quality. Because you got the young pretenders Foden and Mbappe. You got the world class talents of De Bruyne and Neymar. And then you got the supporting casts. You got PSG with a weekend defense. Is Marquinhos going to be fit in time? You got Stones, who's shaky. So it's a really.
I mean, they got Laporte on the side that they can play. So
yeah, I think again he had a slight injury, and that's what kept him out for a couple of games. Again, nothing major, but yeah. But it's guys.
I'm gonna ask a cheeky question. All English final?
I said it from the off, no, so I'm sticking to that.
That's why I asked. I wanted to see if you change your guard.
No, I have. I don't think so. I mean, City has the best chance of going through, and this year it does look like they've had quite a lot of luck in the Champions League with decisions. So maybe it's their year, and a game like today's where you're 1-0 down, you're out of the tournament, and you come back. That only increases your self belief that this might be our year. You got to remember,
Maybe this is what they needed.
PSG had to hold on to go through. Chelsea, even though they're comfortable, they still lost the tie. Real Madrid were quite comfortable. So yeah, I mean, out of all the teams that have gone through, City will be the most high because they actually were out of the competition until they got those 2 goals. So I think that's just going to increase their self belief.
I mean, exciting for us, really. Something to really look forward to. Adil, thank you for coming on. Guys, do keep watching, like, share, and subscribe. Leave comments of anything that you want to see or anything that you saw from the game. Do let us know. And yeah, do leave your feedback. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Adil.